What's up? Welcome back to my channel, or for the first time if you're new. I'm Sylvan, and today I'm going to be reacting to Kinich's character trailer. I wasn't sure if this was going to come out today or tomorrow or whatever, but I'm really excited that it's out now, so let's just get right into it. I'm really interested to see what this is going to be like. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment on your thoughts, and let's get into it. Alright, starting very hard. I'm already loving this aesthetically. I love that they're really leaning into the pixel art aesthetic. God. The music's really interesting. Oh. Huh. I love all the parkour stuff. Ooh. Cool. Going through all kinds of classic games. I'm loving all of these style changes. This is amazing. Yo! That is an amazing shot. Oh, still not done.
Oh.
Oh, that is fun. That is really fun. So this is really cool in a lot of ways. I'm a big fan of the style they went for here. This is honestly a better homage to, like, video games and stuff than even, like, Silverwolf's trailer in Star Rail, because where that was more so just vague reference to video games, this has some very explicit homages to several kinds of games. But regardless, gonna just go through it. So first off, I'd like to acknowledge how cool all of the different kinds of pixel art they have in this. We go through like 5 or 6 different pixel art styles throughout the course of this demo. We start out here with this style, which is fairly simple, fairly blocky shaped, not a ton of detail, very much the kind of thing that you'd see on like the SNES or something like that. And, you know, it's a character select with Kinich and Aha, and then it goes into this much more modern pixel art style with a lot of detail. It's effectively just art of the character, but with pixels. And we have what looks like just basically picking a weapon. Seems like just some random different weaponry, a mystery box of some kind, and then what looks like a fucking selfie stick with a phone. At least that's just what it looks like to me. And we just get these cool shots of him with all of the weapons. And then once we get to his actual weapon, it's selected, and he poses, and things flash, and we get his title card with his art and stuff. Aha, of course, being there. I'm loving all of the colors here. And then things just are really dynamic throughout. They really did a good job of showing the constant flow and motion that is tied into the idea of him doing all kinds of parkour and extreme sports and stuff, like how his tribe is presented. Then we have the ready screen. It's the classic thing to do whenever referencing video games. But then we have Aha just right in front of the camera, and as we do, we see that Kinich is grappling onto Aha and swinging around that way, using momentum to throw his weapon at people. We follow the weapon as it lands back in his hands, and then he glows with the Night Soul effects. I never realized that his face markings were that noticeable until now. We have like a targeting reticle here as he grapples on, shows off his attacks a little bit. Now here's an interesting thing that I hadn't fully processed. From the looks of it here, Kinich's gun that he uses, like his hand blaster thing, is actually just an Aha transformed into that. I did not realize that Aha was that multi-purpose and that deeply entwined into his kit. But I find that really cool. It really emphasizes why they are as much of a team as they are, because personality-wise they really don't line up, and we can see at the end here some butting heads that happens. But from the looks of it, when they need to, they work together really well and actually synergize. We get some impact frames for a big pixel explosion. I love that the explosions are pixelated. As we begin to transition to the next thing, he begins to pixelate himself, which is just a cool effect. We have this cool cut in with him like mostly in black and white, just with some of the green popping as he rushes along. We get a cool parkour sequence here as he's just swinging around, jumping off of things, vaulting, diving into the ground, and then it turns into Snake. Really basic Snake, just like single pixels, just about as basic as it can be. But we can tell that he is the Snake because of the fact that as he falls in the previous shot, the green square that becomes the Snake appears on top of him, so we can pretty easily follow that that's representing him. The Snake then hits the wall and breaks apart, and then the end of it transforms into a little Pac-Man, but it has some green hair and glasses to be a Ha, I would guess. At this point, this is legally distinct Pac-Man that is going on, which is just a fun little homage. It's slightly higher res than the very basic Snake that was happening, but then it transforms into this cool pixel style that wouldn't really be seen on something like actually old and retro, like maybe something from like Sega Genesis or late SNES, maybe, but it very much is more that style of pixel art games inspired by that era, because it feels like it has a little bit more detail and flow to it than you would necessarily find on the original consoles, but it is also very much an homage to platformers. Classic platformers. As he pulls himself across the gap, collecting a Pyroculus as he does. Landing, we have some floating blocks, emphasizing that this is like classic platformer vibes. He jumps up to do an attack, knocking that off of its little root pedestal thing, as then the art style changes and warps into this other very cool isometric top-down view aesthetic, as we have him move around throwing the thing at a slime, and him going into a cave, at which point it then transitions into a fighting game style thing, which at first this looks potentially like it might be more JRPG-ish, but some of the things are more signifying of fighting game than anything. Just like UI-wise, it's very in line with that. It's just usually you don't fight big monsters like that in fighting games. But what really solidifies it is this screen of selecting which AHA to use in the fight. It's real fun. We get a lot of fun interpretations of AHA, which I really like. I also wouldn't be surprised if some of these are actually even homages or references to specific games. I'm not immediately picking up anything specific, but also these are all distinctly enough AHA that I'm not 100% sure if it's really anything, but it's a fun, very clearly fighting game style thing. All of these are designed really cool looking. I like how it jumps between these. We have like the circular AHA, and then the fight begins. As Kinich says one of the only lines in this trailer saying, "Last one, let's finish this," as he unleashes his ult, unleashing AHA. At which point, we get some cool impact frames, and we end up having a fucking dragon fight in the skies, very briefly, before Kinich leaps up into the air and drops down into a big overhead slash with big dramatic impact frames as he has defeated the dragon. And then we have just this cool shot of AHA looming in the darkness and the fog, just his eyes and mouth glowing, as we see the back of Kinich as he just sort of swings his blade dramatically. And then we get this big, dynamic, colorful shot with KO in the background, which is just very much a really cool kind of thing you'd see from a very stylized fighting game, like end screen for a victory screen or whatever. And we have him say "commission complete," showing that this was some kind of job, basically. But then we transition into just a sort of ending bit with a coin flicked up in the air, grabbed in his hand, and it looks at the coin, says, "Aha, you set this up, didn't you?" Calling him out on, apparently it would seem, trying to get Kinich killed, at least vaguely? Or at least put him out of his depth so he would fail or something. But rather than admitting to it or denying it, AHA just says they were completely and utterly useless, effectively admitting to it, but rather than just admitting it and saying he's sorry or anything, he's just complaining that it failed, which is so in line for his character. He says, "I swear, one day I'll get rid of you for good, and then your body will belong to the almighty Dragon Lord Kahul AHA." That's an interesting detail I did not know about the relationship. Now, I don't know how serious this is supposed to be, I don't know if this is something that Aha is really trying to do, or if this is him just being a little asshole like he usually is, but I could very much see that to some extent Aha is wanting to, in some way, be able to take over Kinich's body. It might tie into why Aha is so weird and different as a Saurian, but I don't know. I just don't have enough info on that. But it's a really interesting added layer that I'm curious if they'll go anywhere with ever. But I love how Kinich just is basically not paying attention. He just calls him out on it and then doesn't worry beyond that. And all he has to say about it is just say, well, at least pick something more profitable next time. I don't care if you try to get me killed, just make me money in the process. And I really love that. It really shows that he isn't worried about Aha trying to get him killed or whatever, which is really fun, because either that means he's just so confident in himself that he doesn't think anything Aha can throw at him would ever get him killed, or he knows that it's all bark and no bite. He knows that Aha wouldn't actually try to get him killed. One of the two, realistically, or a bit of both, maybe. Maybe it's a bit of a, he's confident enough in his own abilities that even if Aha goes too far, he won't get hurt, as well as thinking that Aha, on a usual day, wouldn't ever go that far. But either way, it's a fun bit of banter, and it shows their relationship pretty well. And that's where it ends. It's really cool, really stylistic. I really just love all of the stylistic choices, all of the pixel art. It all looks amazing. This is one of the most distinct trailers they've done for Genshin. I'm really happy with the trailers they've been releasing recently. Between all of their games, all of them have been super distinct as of late, I'd say. Like, we have this one with all this pixel art. We have Zhao from a little while back that had all of that live action food and stuff. And we had freaking Jane's ASMR trailer for Zenless. Like, we're getting all of these super cool trailers, and I am a big fan of it. But with that, I think I'll leave it there. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Feel free to like and subscribe if you did. Leave a comment on your thoughts, and I hope you all have a great day. Goodbye.